for supplies, we will be needing 3 different types of yarn. So these are all size 5 bulky. This is the Posh Pearl yarn by Loops and Threads. This is the Big Twist yarn, and this is the Hobie Black Friday Chenille yarn. So we only need a little bit of pink. This is just for the blush. This is for the body of the frog, and this is for the middle, the white portion. We also need scissors, a 4.5mm crochet hook, darning needle, 8mm safety eyes, keychain hardware if you want to make it into a keychain, and of course some polyester stuffing. Okay, so we're going to start with the top of the frog, and we're going to be doing a magic circle. If you want a more in-depth tutorial of how to do a magic circle, please click on the link at the top of this video or in the description, because I have a whole absolute beginner crochet course for people who need more guidance on specific stitches and techniques. So first, make your magic circle. Turn your left hand like this, grab this yarn, pull it up to here, hold it in place. Your hook will go to the top, and then chain 1, and then flip the magic circle horizontally. Okay, now we're going to put 6 single crochets inside of this magic circle. How you do that is you insert your hook through the circle, yarn over, pull it back through the loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So you just make 6 of these. When you're done the 6, you take the tail and you pull so that you can cinch it close. What I do after every row that I make is I slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made, pull through, and then I chain 1 to start on the next row. For the next row, we're going to increase 6 times. So for all of the stitches here, we're going to increase. An increase means 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So make your first single crochet, and then your second one will be exactly in the same stitch. And then move on to the next one. Put 2 single crochets here as well. You should end with 12 stitches overall in this row. Okay, I've completed all of my increases. I have 12 single crochets all around. I slip stitch into the first single crochet I made, and then I chain 1. Now for this row, we're going to be adding the eyes of the frog. So pay attention because this is going to be a little bit more complicated. So first we're going to make a single crochet. Then on the next one, we're going to do an increase. Then on the next stitch, we're going to do a bobble stitch, but with 4 incomplete double crochets. So let me demonstrate. I'm gonna yarn over, insert it into the stitch, yarn over again, pull it back out. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Then you're gonna yarn over, pull through just 2. Okay, you just made 1 incomplete double crochet. We need to make 3 more. So yarn over, go into the exact same stitch, yarn over, pull it back out. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops. Okay, now we need to make 2 more. Yarn over, insert again into the same stitch, pull it back out, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 3, just 1 more, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull it back out, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you know you're done when you have 5 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over, pull through all 5 of those loops, and then you're just gonna use your finger to push it up a little bit, and there you go. That is your bobble stitch. It's a pretty bumpy stitch, and that is where one eye is going to be. On the next one, we're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochets here. On the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then on the next one, another increase, so 2 single crochets. And then on the next stitch, we're going to do the next eye, so exactly the same thing we did here, which is 4 incomplete double crochets. That's 1, that's 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. and I just push it. There you go, you have your 2 frog eyes. Okay, on the next stitch we're going to do an increase. So 2 single crochets. Next is a single crochet. Next is an increase. Next is a single crochet, and then our last one is an increase. Okay, now that we're done the row, we're gonna slip stitch, chain 1. Okay, for the next row, we're just gonna do 18 stitches all around. So 18 single crochets all the way around till we get back over here. Okay, I just did 1 row of 18 single crochets. I also did my slip stitch and chain 1. Now for this next row, we're gonna start with 3 single crochets. So 1, go to the next, 2, go to the next, 3. Now we're starting to make the arms of the frog. So for this stitch, for the next one, we're going to do a bobble stitch again with 4 incomplete double crochets. So exactly the same thing we did for the eye. So yarn over, insert, pull through 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, pull through all 5. Okay, that's 1 arm done. Now we're gonna make 5 single crochets. So just one after the other. Okay, after doing 5, we're gonna make the other arm exactly the same way that we did this. So another bobble stitch with 4 incomplete double crochets. And then we're just gonna single crochet all the way till the end. So that's about 8 single crochets. Make sure you're counting when you're doing these so that your frog doesn't look wonky and the pattern goes well. Okay, now we're just gonna slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're just gonna do another round of 18 single crochets all the way around. Finished my row, I'm gonna slip stitch, chain 1. Now we're gonna do the row where we're gonna put the legs of the frog. So first we're gonna make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're gonna make a bobble stitch again, but now instead of just 4 of incomplete double crochets, we're gonna make 5 incomplete double crochets, just so they're a little bit bigger because they are the legs. So it could be a little more challenging. You could definitely stick to the 4 if it's too difficult because it does get a little bit cramped. But I'm gonna do 5. Okay, so once I have 6 loops on my hook, I know that I did 5 incomplete double crochets. Okay, now we're gonna make 3 single crochets. After the 3 single crochets, we're gonna do the other bobble stitch, the other leg. So same thing we did for this one. Okay, now that that's done, we're just gonna do 9 more single crochets until we finish the row, and then slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, we're heading into the last row for the frog, and for this one, we're gonna do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So just did my single crochet, and then for a decrease, what that means is we're taking these 2 stitches and we're gonna make them into 1. And this is how I do it. I take my hook, I insert only in the front loop, so you know how there's there's a front and a back of a stitch. We're only gonna go through the front loop. Go like this, and then go through the front loop of the one next to it as well. There you go. Yarn over, pull through both of those front loops. You're left now with 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through those 2. And then we're going to repeat the pattern. So next is another single crochet and then another decrease. Now if you're having trouble with the first type of decrease, there's another easier one where what you do is you insert your hook onto the next stitch, yarn over, pull it back out, and then go to the next stitch over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it back out. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. This way you're not really working with just the front loops in case it's difficult to find the front loops. And then just repeat the same pattern of single crochet and decrease until you're done. You should have 12 stitches overall once you're done the row. Okay, we're at the end now. We're gonna slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1. I'm gonna leave a long tail so that we can sew later. Okay. Okay, now we can actually attach the eyes. So let me show you where I put them. I go about here. Let's see the placement. Yeah, this is perfect. And then for the other eye, there's a space right here. There you go. So just make sure to place the backing of the eyes. Now we're just gonna stuff the frog. Okay, once that's done, we need to close this. So we're gonna thread our darning needle. And how I sew my plushie close is I go through the front loop right here, and then I go back out the front loop of the next stitch. So same thing here. Up, down, up, down, up, down. This is the last one. Up, down. Oh, I think we have one more. Up, down. Okay. Then I'm just gonna pull and it should close properly. Then I make a knot by looking for a stitch, inserting my needle through that loop. And then I'm gonna hide my tail inside of the frog all the way to the other side, and then I can cut. Okay, at this point I'm gonna attach my keychain hardware. If you guys also want to make this into a keychain, then now is the perfect time. Okay, now it's time to make the white portion of the frog. We're gonna take our white yarn and make a magic circle again. Chain 1. Okay, and then we're gonna put 8 single crochets inside of this magic circle. Once you're done the 8, you take your yarn and pull until it's tight, and then I slip stitch into the first single crochet I made and chain 1. Then I leave a long tail because I need it to sew this onto the frog. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna sew it onto the belly section of the frog. So we thread our darning needle, then we place it where we want it to go. I'd say about right here. And now you can just find stitches to sew it in. If you would rather glue this on, that's totally fine, because it's a little bit tricky to do this perfectly and clean. Once you're done attaching the white section, it's time to now do the blush. So just take your pink yarn, and then I place it directly underneath the eyes. So I insert my needle on the back, then I find this section right here, then end it here, and then go to the other side right here. There you go, that's a perfect placement. And then I go here, and then I just make sure I hide the tail. Okay, I forgot to mention earlier, but I like putting like a line here for the mouth, and that needs black yarn. You can totally skip this, but I just want to add this in. Okay, that's the end of the tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you like this little frog keychain, and I'll see you all in the next video.